Hey guys, it's Misty with My Paper Cuts, and today I wanted to come on and do a share of some of the cards that I've been making here lately. I actually have, I was inspired first by a card that I sent to Alicia. When I pulled it out to send it to her, I was just inspired by the design, and so I used my own design to make more cards. And then on the other cards that I'm going to share with you, I color a lot, and so I have this big box here where I keep all of my colored images, and then that way I can just go in, and whenever I feel like coloring or making a card, I can just flip through all of my little images that I have colored here, and I can just start making some cards. And I'm always coloring, so I have big sheets of colored images here, watercolor, and some Copic coloring. There's some office characters. And I just kind of keep everything in here. And then, I do make cards in multiples, so I always color anywhere from 4 to 20 of any one particular image. So I always have that on hand to go through. So let me zoom in a little bit here so you guys aren't hovering way up at high altitudes. So the first card, like I said, set of cards, were inspired by this card here. So I had sent this card to Alicia, and I did make this card from a 6x6 pad from Altenew, and this was one of the pattern papers in the pad. And as you all know, usually in a 6x6 pad you have 2, maybe 3 of the same pattern. So whenever I do that, I only get 2 cards. And I love this card so much that I went ahead and I pulled out that same paper pad and I made 12 more. Oh, let me show you the inside real quick. So this is the one strip, and then this is the leftover piece of that same pattern paper. So one sheet of paper covers inside and out, so there's no waste on that. But so these are the cards that I made that were based on that card, and as you can see, they are all the same design. I did ink the circles. I usually will ink a big area and then die cut out exactly the type of shading that I want. This one has a die cut message on it. And depending on the pattern of the paper, I will alternate which side I go on with the sentiment. And then the edges of these are outlined with stickles. That's one of my favorite techniques, just to add some shine. So this is the next one. Lots of variety in these. All basic cards, blank on the inside. I didn't do sentiments on the inside. Kind of general everyday. That one's cut out of glitter cardstock. Oh, and some of them, when you cut off the other side of the paper, it was very plain, so I did cut up another sheet just to have something on the inside of those. I do love this one, which is funny because I don't like yellow or green, but I do think this card is very pretty. And then of course I love this one because I love rainbow. I also water splattered the background. And then of course there's this one. And then this one has the black and white. But again, there's 2 each of these. So I got 12 more cards just off of inspiration from something I made a while ago. So then the next thing I did was all these other ones are with images I already had colored, except the very last one I'll share. And that one I did actually color. So this was my colored image that I already had in the box, and I stamped this background and have some copper paper, and then on the inside of this there's a little pocket for a gift card. So I did that one, and of this one I did 8, and then I did the same design but with a different colored image that I had this little girl here, and I had originally glittered her bow, but I had stamped this image in Momenta ink, and when I did the glue to do some clear glitter over the top, the ink bled and turned blue and it looked really bad, so I added a dimensional bow instead. This has a little puff embossing powder on it. And then the inside again has the exact same thing. And these again are just leftover strips from the pattern paper that I used. And I did 8 of these, so that was 16 more cards. And then I had these watercolored images in my box of colored goodness. And they're actually, this is a die cut that I have that I cut out a shimmer paper for the top and just kind of loosely watercolored underneath and attach some sequins. And this is a layering die that I just got recently at the Hobby Lobby clearance. And then the inside of this just says sending hugs. And I made 6 of those. And then I started in with some Halloween cards. So on this card, I have 2 cards of this kind of similar design. This was the colored image I had. And then I inked the background, and then I have a frame over the top of the inked background. And I stenciled the stars onto the background with some glitter texture paste. And obviously a die cut tree, and a little bit of die cut grass, and just a simple sentiment on top. And then just says Happy Halloween inside. And then on that one I made 4. And on this one, it's similar series on the little colored image there. But on this one I masked off and inked. So this doesn't have a frame around it. It's just masked off by die cutting through some masking paper. And same thing with the stars. And I mean, it's the exact same thing, but I just, instead of the frame, I actually masked it off. This is a big piece of masking paper, so the frame was actually more economical to do, whereas this one, you know, just has the smoother, and so it's thinner. And then the inside of that one's the same, just stamped in the matching color. And so there's 4 of that one. And this one here is one of my favorites. I actually got a new stamp set in from MFT, and it has some snarky Halloween sayings on it. I thought I had it nearby, but I guess I don't. So I had this little colored Frankie head here in my stash. This is some of the green holographic paper from Tonic. And this was a spare sheet of paper that I had just loose in my Halloween paper. These are some wooden bats that I colored black and then put some stickles on top. And I love that sentiment. So... and just stamped the inside on that one. And that one I made 4. And then this one here, I had this colored image, and it was even stickled and everything in that box. And so I just inked the background on this and splattered it and die cut out a circle. And that is behind this cardstock panel. And I kept this one simple because it's kind of a busy focal image there. And this is more of the Tonic holographic paper. That's the silver. And on the inside of this one, I just did stars to kind of carry the theme over, and Happy Halloween. And I made 4 of that one. And then for this card, this is a Simon Says stamp set with the witches' hats. But this sentiment here is from that same MFT sentiment set. And on this one, this is a border that is from Crafter's Companion, and I cut out 4, and then I cut it out in some more of the green holographic paper because I had scraps on my desk, and a little bit of purple shimmer paper, and then a pattern paper. And I just filled in bubbles on each one differently. The background on this one is a really interesting texture paste. It's a matte black texture paste. So when you feel it, it almost feels like, I mean, it's kind of crunchy, but it feels like a velvet because it's matte. There's no shine to that at all. And those images are colored with Copics on the inside, just to tie in those same colors. So on that one, I did 4 because I had 4 sets of the hats done. And then on this one, for some reason, and my OCD was not thrilled with this, but for some reason I only had 3 of these images colored. And the image on this one is this one right here. So I added the trick or treat, obviously for the rhyme. And then this is a little die cut spider that I put, like, these little fisheye stickers that I have. I didn't want googly eyes. I liked the size of those. And then there's another scrap of that silver holographic paper. And this was another single sheet of pattern paper I had in my stash. And then I selectively inked the big stamp that we all got at Tuesday morning last year that has the full rhyme on it, just to put this part on the inside. And on that one, I did 3, like I said. And then the last thing I did was, I was very inspired to do some Harry Potter theme cards. So I stamped out, I have this stamp set that is basically the 4 main characters that everybody likes. It's got Ron, Hermione, Harry, and then a character that looks like Luna. And I stamped it out 16 times, thinking that I would use all 4 characters on one card. And unfortunately, they're pretty good size. So I'm actually going to get 32 cards out of it. So I finished one, and I'm still working on the Luna card, but I wanted to go ahead and share this. I watercolored the characters, and it's a shaker card. And so I used this die that I also got at Tuesday morning that's obviously Hogwarts, and there's a little piece of the gold holographic paper from Tonic, and these little stars are from Target, and this paper is from the Witches and Wizards, or Wizards and Witches, whichever it is that just recently came out. And then this stamp is also from the same set that makes these characters. And then on the inside, I have another stamp, and I had watercolored this broom, which obviously didn't fit on the front, so I just slapped it on the inside. And I made 16 of this, and I also want to share, I have this little stamp here too that has the owl post on it that I put on the back. So I made 16 of those, and I'm still working on the Luna cards, but I thought I would go ahead and share the little Luna character with you guys. It's hard to see with all these lights, but there is a shimmery watercolor in her hair. So that's my card share for today. These are all cards I've made over the past couple of weeks. Obviously very Halloween heavy. I do love Halloween. I am determined to use up some of my Halloween stash, but I also get lots of requests for fall colors and themes of coffee gift card holders for people to give Starbucks cards. So, and then of course all the ones that were inspired by my own card stash, which actually made me feel really good to be inspired by my own work. So thanks for stopping by, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.